Welcome once again to another episode of Kofi and Volter, where today we're going to talk about Terminator armor. We've all seen the new model or the new figure of Marneus Calgar with his gauntlets of Ultramar, his Victrix Guard, but Games Workshop is about to release the new Assault Terminators with their Lightning Claws or with their Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield. So, seeing the current landscape, we've decided to make another video about all the types of Terminator armor that exist in the 41st millennium, as well as the older ones from the 30th millennium. So let's get started. As we mentioned, taking advantage of the release of the new Terminator box, we're going to talk a bit about them. We'll cover why they were created, what models exist, including some very rare ones, and their evolution up to the current Indomitus armor. Terminator armor, officially designated as Tactical Dreadnought armor, is an advanced form of powered combat armor designed for Space Marine Terminators to fight both in close combat and at range, where the ability to annihilate enemies far outweighs maneuverability. These magnificent suits of armor are mainly used in situations where the standard power armor of a Space Marine does not provide enough protection for the warrior. Colossal thick ceramite plates and servo-powered muscles drive these impenetrable defenses, and only the bravest and most worthy of an Astartes chapter can wear this ancient and sacred war harness. When the battle demands durability and endurance over agility, the Space Marines turn to the revered Terminator armor suits. Colossal thick ceramite plates and servo-powered muscles drive these impenetrable defenses, and only the bravest and most worthy of an Astartes chapter can wear this ancient and sacred war harness. Terminator armor is an incredibly durable combat suit made up of an outer shell of composite ceramite and high-strength plasteel plates, mounted on an adamantium exoskeleton, with servo-assisted interfaces that integrate with the Astartes neurological and muscular systems, enhancing their movement. Its advanced composition allows the wearer to survive impacts from firepower capable of penetrating even a tank's armor, making it the heaviest combat armor in any Imperial arsenal, able to withstand extreme punishment. Offensively, it provides the strength to maintain mobility while serving as a platform for heavy weapons in open combat. The elite of the first company of most Space Marine chapters make extensive use of Terminator armor. And only those who obtain the Crux Terminatus, if you've seen our episode on Insignium Astartes, you'll know what we're talking about, which is a badge of honor said to contain a fragment of the Emperor of Mankind's armor from when he faced Horus at the end of the Siege of Terra. May wear it. It is said that the Crux Terminatus acts as a power amulet that enhances the armor itself, capable of deflecting blows that would threaten even a war machine. In the Indomitus era, in the 41st millennium, both Firstborn and Primaris can serve as Terminators. Not even Archmagos Dominus Belisarius Cole was able to improve the ancient and sacred Indomitus pattern Terminator armor. Any veteran Marine can earn the right to wear the Tactical Dreadnought armor. Less frequently, high-ranking members of the Inquisition have worn a form of Terminator armor adapted for an ordinary human. In particular, those of the Ordo Malleus seem to favor it, although they lack the genetically modified subdermal organ of a Space Marine, known as the Black Carapace, which prevents them from connecting neurologically with the armor, making its weight and bulk far more cumbersome for them than for an Astartes. Among the traitor legions that still inhabit the infamous Eye of Terror, only Chaos Champion aspirants or Chaos Lords, greatly favored by the ruinous powers, wear Terminator armor. It is so scarce among the heretic Astartes that sometimes an aspirant can only claim one by killing the current wearer, either in ritual combat or through cunning. Chaos Terminators often serve as the personal guard of such esteemed champions, enforcing their leader's will and always claiming the most valuable spoils from any victory. Now let's take a look at what makes up Terminator armor. Terminator armor is much more than simple protection. It is a living war system, a throne of ceramite and adamantium, in which a Space Marine becomes the embodiment of the Imperium's power. Each suit is made up of a complete and complex exoskeleton, with a network of synthetic fiber muscles that allow the warrior to unleash his fury in close combat, where agility is secondary to brute strength and supernatural endurance. Its outer shell, made of high-density ceramite and plasteel plates, is mounted on an adamantium frame and integrates seamlessly with the wearer's neurological and muscular systems, turning every movement into a devastating and precise blow. This advanced composition allows the wearer to survive impacts that would destroy an armored tank and makes the Terminator armor the heaviest and most resilient of all Imperial armors, capable of withstanding punishment that would bring down entire armies, and yet it does not entirely sacrifice mobility. The servo-assisted muscles and suspension systems allow the wearer to maintain offensive capability and serve as platforms for heavy weapons on open battlefields. Like any power armor, Terminator armor has its own independent power source and full life support, but at superior levels. It features longer-lasting batteries, enhanced breathing systems, and an array of advanced sensors, internal and external telemetry, auspex and augers, which keep the Astartes fully aware of the battlefield, tracking radiation, nearby enemies, and the warrior's own vital signs. Among its most formidable systems are the teleportation beacons, which allow the Terminator to appear in the midst of the battlefield like a bolt of the Emperor's justice, as well as threat detectors and motion sensors that turn the wearer into a master of tactical anticipation. Additionally, Terminators are interconnected through pictographic displays, allowing each warrior to see what his battle brother sees, uniting their senses into a single heart of war. Now let's take a look at the uses and who has the honor of wearing Terminator armor. The veterans of the first company of each chapter, the bravest and most heroic, are the guardians of these sacred relics. Each suit is a sacred jewel, maintained with devotion by the Tech Marines and reserved only for those who have demonstrated supreme valor in battle. The most revered distinction of a Terminator is the Crux Terminatus, the stone insignia that incorporates fragments of the armor the Emperor of Mankind wore to defeat Horus at the end of the Siege of Terra. This symbol is not only one of honor, but also an amulet of protection capable of deflecting blows that could destroy even a war machine. For feats of supreme valor, some wear a Crux Argentum, an ornate gem-encrusted version, serving as a reminder of the warrior's glory and sacrifice. Now let's move on to see the tactical applications that Terminator armor can have. Terminator armor is deployed only when its formidable power can change the course of a battle. Assaults on hive ships where narrow corridors render dreadnoughts useless and reduced agility doesn't matter. Open battlefields, where a Terminator's heavy weapons can wipe out enemy formations with devastating precision. Strategic teleportations, dropping warriors directly into the heart of the conflict, a living lightning bolt of destruction that terrifies enemies, traitors, and Xenos alike. Their weaponry is equally legendary. From assault bolters and power fists to devastating setups like lightning claws, thunder hammers, and storm shields. Each combination is designed to maximize damage and survivability in brutal, close-quarters combat. Terminators can also wield heavy weapons, such as assault cannons, heavy flamers, and cyclone missile launchers. This way, they combine superhuman resilience with relentless firepower. But what variants of Terminator armor are there? Well, let's start with the current one, the Indomitus pattern. The Indomitus pattern is the epitome of Terminator armor, forged during the Horus Heresy to replace the massive losses suffered by both sides. Today, it is the most widely used armor by the Imperium, safeguarded on Keyforge worlds like Mars. With large, rounded pauldrons, an iconic helmet reminiscent of an extinct Terran canine, and always bearing the Exterminatus cross on the left shoulder, the Indomitus is the armor that transforms an Astartes into the embodiment of Imperial wrath. The Ultramarines popularized it during the Horus Heresy, and it remains the standard for the elites of most chapters. Next, we have the Cataphractii pattern. The Cataphractii pattern was a prototype from the early days of the Great Crusade, a predecessor to the Indomitus. Its double-layered pauldrons protect the vulnerable points at the elbows and thighs, while its helmet is reminiscent of the Mk3. Although slower and heavier, it offered additional protection with built-in shield generators and was widely used by the Sons of Horus and the Iron Hands. the Aquilon pattern. Designed exclusively for the Adeptus Custodes, the Aquilon pattern is a perfected version of the ancient Cataphracti, adapted to the superior physique of the Custodes. With enhanced energy capabilities, custom neurofibril links, and the ability to wield exotic weapons such as the Assault Borte, Lastrum, and Power Lances, it is an artifact of warlike perfection, almost divine, that combines strength, speed, and endurance for the guardians of the Imperial Palace. We continue with the Custodes with the Alarus pattern. The Alarus pattern, used by the Alarus Custodes, is a masterpiece of war engineering built with auramite and adamantium and articulated with Leonus-class actuators. It offers almost unrestricted mobility, superhuman strength, and the ability to survive a macro cannon, making it possibly the most lethal portable armor in the Imperium. Its presence on the battlefield inspires both fear and reverence. Now let's move on to the Gorgon pattern. The Gorgon pattern is the embodiment of the brutal ambition of the Iron Hands. An experiment in mechanical and cybernetic perfection, demanding to the extreme. Each wearer had to undergo invasive bionic surgeries to integrate with the suit. The Gorgon Terminators were 4 elite warriors, led by a hammer-bearer who broke through enemy lines, instilling absolute fear. A prototype lost on Istvan V, its legend endures, suffering, strength, and purity through the machine. Let's continue with the Tartaros pattern, which many of you may already know. The Tartaros pattern, contemporary with the final years of the Great Crusade, is perhaps the pinnacle of mobility in Terminator armor, combining unbreakable protection with mobility comparable to the Maximus pattern of standard power armor. Only the elite veterans of each chapter are allowed to wear this gem, designed for fierce and maneuverable combat in any situation. The Aegis pattern. The Aegis pattern, used by the Grey Knights, adds a psychic layer of protection, with runes and prayers psychically energized to defend against the powers of demons and chaos. Its Crusader helmet is a nod to the ancient Mark III or Iron pattern, offering extra resilience and martial sanctity. Of course, we have to mention the Saturnine pattern. The Saturnine armor is a colossus of plasteel and ceramite born from the secret forges of Saturn before the unification of the solar system. Its brutal design allows it to carry weapons of mass destruction with integrated teleporters for instant deployment, turning the wearer into a living avatar of war. Although limited in number due to their complexity and rarity, their use was both feared and revered in the early phases of the Great Crusade and during the fall of Istvan V. To conclude, there are the handcrafted armors of Vulcan, which during the Great Crusade, Vulcan, the Primarch, personally forged 20 special armors for the Salamanders. Larger, more resilient, with those additional exoskeletons, specialized weaponry, and advanced missile systems. Each weapon could be fired with just a thought thanks to its Muse system, elevating their wearers to gods of war in flesh and metal. And well, I hope you enjoyed this brief summary of all the Terminator armors or Terminator models that exist in the galaxy. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your box of Assault Terminator Marines. I'll enjoy my Marneus Calgar when I buy him and will paint him. So that's it. I'll be waiting for you in the comment section for anything you need.